This video is brought to you by my good friends at Audio Entropy. Audio Entropy is a podcasting network with a large amount of rewatch podcasts, usually on the dorkiest stuff. If you want Power Rangers, they have Teenagers with Attitude. If you want Totally Spies, they have Totally Reprise. Beast Wars, War and Beast. Dragon Ball, Home for Infinite Losers. There's also a video game ranking podcast, a Dungeon Master podcast, a podcast about the transgender experience. Chances are there's something there you might like. That's Audio Entropy at audioentropy.com. So at the beginning of this month, a very good friend of mine invited me to visit her and her friends up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. This was my first time out of the country, which is exciting, and I got to live that prime Canadian lifestyle. Driving through the construction, handling all that weird transparent money, and I even had my very first poutine. If you've never had one, it's a pile of french fries, gravy, and cheese curds. It's one of the most indulgent foods I've ever had, and I live in the United States. And yeah, I loved it. I also got to watch Canadian bacon with a Canadian. Apparently they love Canadian bacon. While it wasn't the focus of the trip, I did manage to squeeze in a few quick visits to 3 Calgary bookstores. My time and budget were limited, so I didn't get to explore these places to their full extent, but I figured I'd share with you my discoveries. Welcome back to Pop Arena Book Hunt, Calgary edition. First stop was Book Between Friends out here in this strip mall. It's a pretty straightforward used bookstore, romance and historical fiction outnumbering the rest of the books 2-1. There's probably a lot of great stuff here, but one thing I quickly learned is that traditional bookstores don't lend themselves to quick 5-minute browses. The things that tend to stand out are these cheap self-published books, which, I don't blame them. If I self-published a book, I'd probably donate copies to every used bookstore in arm's reach. So no, didn't pick up anything here, but that's okay. There's always a chance of that, even if you spend an hour going through every book one by one. That just means we're off to our next store, driving through Calgary's perpetual construction. Our second stop is Fairs Fair, subtitle For Book Lovers. This place is big, like it's intimidating and labyrinthian, which is exactly what a bookstore should be. I want to walk into a bookstore and accidentally stumble into Narnia. Right out the gate, found something pretty relevant to my interests, a near-complete set of the Making Out series. These were young adult drama books that Kay Applegate did a few years before and a few years during Animorphs. I actually know very little about them and have been meaning to read a few of them to see if they're worth doing a video on. I seriously considered picking up 3 of these, but then something even more relevant to my interest cropped up. Virgen New Adventures. A solid chunk of them too. Their brilliant white spines radiating across the store. Most were around 10 Canadian dollars, which, between the conversion rate and Calgary's cost of living, I have no idea if that's a good deal or not, but it doesn't matter. This is the main series I've been collecting lately, so I grabbed all the ones I didn't have. A couple of other Doctor Who books scattered around the store, such as this one on Doctor Who Companions. Really nice book, but I decided to just kind of focus on the Virgin ones. They also had a selection of the really nice Rand McNally printings of L. Frank Baum's Oz books. These are my favorite versions of these books, but I already have the complete collection, so hopefully somebody will get some enjoyment out of them. This is a pretty great place, and I'm definitely coming back if I ever end up in Calgary again. Back on the road for our third and final store, the Century Box. This is actually a gaming store, which means every RPG system under the sun, but they also have a dedicated section for fantasy and science fiction literature. Seriously, if you're looking for any books in this genre, this should be the first place you look if you're in the Calgary area. I kind of wanted to live in this store before I was done. Uh-oh, here's Shroud of Eternity by Terry Goodkind. A bit of a controversy around this book. Goodkind wasn't happy with the cover, mostly because the main character is in heels, so he put it on blast on social media and could have potentially hurt the career of the commissioned artist, which I am listing on screen because I haven't the faintest idea how to pronounce that. Anyway, Terry Goodkind is a whiny baby man. So I was walking around and well, are those brilliant white spines I see? Yes, even more Virgen New Adventures, and all different ones from the ones I found at Fairs Fair. At first I thought somebody spread their collection out from different stores, but I soon discovered that the Century Box doesn't sell used books. No, they sell old new stock. These are Virgen New Adventures from a different bookstore that were never sold. That doesn't actually mean much at the end of the day, just that these are the nearest you can get to finding mint condition Virgen New Adventures. So yeah, it was clear that today was going to have a theme, so I grabbed everyone I didn't already have. And that was it for stores. Again, really didn't have time or money for a full-blown exploration, but I was very happy with what I got. Oh, but there's a capper to all of this, and I swear, this wasn't planned. But the very good friend I was staying with had a gift for me. A box of Virgen New Adventures. She was picking them up, a few here, a few there, whenever she saw them on her own shopping trips. I know you're watching, so thank you again for such a wonderful treat. And only one duplicate in the entire set. All told, I added 29 books to my collection. Here they are in publication order. Iceberg, David Banks. Blood Heat, Jim Mortimer. No Future, Paul Cornell. All Consuming Fire, Andy Lane. Falls the Shadow, Daniel O'Mahony. Parasite, Jim Mortimer. Infinite Requiem, Daniel Blythe. Original Sin, Andy Lane. Zamper, Gareth Roberts. Shakedown, Terrence Dix. Death and Diplomacy, Dave Stone. God Engine, Craig Hinton. Return of the Living Dad, Kate Orman. The Death of Art, Simon Butcher Jones. Oh No It Isn't, Paul Cornell. Dragon's Wrath, Justin Richards. Beyond the Sun, Matthew Jones. Down, Lawrence Miles. Deadfall, Gary Russell. Ghost Devices, Simon Butcher Jones. Mean Streets, Terrence Dix. Walking to Babylon, Kate Orman. Oblivion, Dave Stone. The Sword of Forever, Jim Mortimer. Another Girl, Another Planet, Martin Day and Len Beach. Where the Angels Fear, Rebecca Levine and Simon Winston. The Mary Sue Extrusion, Dave Stone. Return to the Fractured Planet, Dave Stone. And also a Virgin Missing Adventure, State of Change by Christopher Bullis. Wowzers. Yeah, a pretty successful book hunt. Hey, remember when I used to review these? Yeah, I kind of fell off the wagon there. So, tune in tomorrow for my review of Shadowmind.